Hey guys, in this video I want to show some different ways that you and your team can hold B on Inferno. This comes from the NaVi vs mousesports match, so let's get started. So this first setup here is going to be a simple CT and dark spot setup, but what I want to highlight here is the interaction between the person who's supporting and the person who's opping CT. So what we're going to see is that Flamey, he's going to be holding this angle at the entrance and he's going to get flashed off. And now at this point, after he gets flashed off, it's no longer safe for him to peek because the terrorists, they can be posted on him with an op, right? So if he peeks us without any flashes, he's gonna die immediately. So what Boomich does is that he's gonna throw a flash for him to peek. So there's the first flash, and Flamey, he's able to safely peek. So there's the first peek, and what you see is that Boomich, he has a second flash as well. And what Flamey's gonna do is he's gonna be timing his peeks with these flashes. So there's the first peek, he gets that kill. There's the second flash, it goes off as well. Flamey, safe to peek again, gets that kill. And now Boomich, he has another smoke here to allow Flamey to get away if he decides to. Flamey gets that kill as well, and now the smoke pops, making it so difficult for any terrorist to be able to trade, because basically after every shot that Flamey takes, there's a piece of utility that keeps coming in to prevent the terrorists from trading. Now the next thing you're going to notice here is that as the rotation comes through from CT, as simple, he's going to be rotating from the arch side towards B. What's going to happen is that Flamey, he's going to ditch his spot at CT and he's going to go towards Spool, and simple, he's going to take his spot and go and take his spot at CT. So now they're going to have this crossfire towards the entrance with Boomich still playing towards the site. And this is going to work out because what you're going to see is that Boomich, he's going to die towards the site, and now Chris J, he's going to be trying to fight towards the CT area, but then Flamey, he's already towards the Spool area ready to fight and get this trade kill. So this next example I want to show is it's going to start off with Kerrigan. He's going to throw a smoke towards the entrance. And Frozen and Kerrigan, they're playing a quad and CT setup. And when Kerrigan throws that smoke, you know, it's relatively late in the round already, you know, 40 something seconds left. And generally at this point, a lot of teams kind of think that with this one remaining smoke at CT, they should probably use it to try to delay even further so that, you know, the terrorists have to exec with, you know, 20 something seconds left. But how Frozen uses the smoke instead is actually quite interesting. He has a special one-way smoke that he's going to use for when he feels like the terrorists are execing. So what you're going to see here is the terrorists are execing. He's able to get that first kill, and now this one-way smoke is just brilliant. You're going to see that this one-way smoke is just so advantageous for him, where if the terrorists decide to run in towards the entrance, he's going to be able to spot their feet as they come in towards the site. And at the same time, Kerrigan, he's taking advantage of the fact that there's no CT smoke at this point. So what this is going to do is that the terrorists, they're going to be forced to kind of go on top of the top first orange area. As if they cross towards the bottom, Frozen, he's just able to get easy kills if they cross further up. But what you're going to see is that the terrorists are mostly trying to jump up towards the top of first orange, and it's going to make it very easy for Wox to get these kills rotating from CT. The other thing to keep in mind here is that when you're a person rotating in from CT, if your teammate throws a smoke up here, even if the terrorists throw a CT smoke here, you're still going to be able to see the terrorists climb on top of the first oranges, right? Which makes this smoke so powerful, because if the T's decide to go through here, well, the person quad box is going to be able to spot their feet. And if they go up on top, well, the CT person is going to be able to see them go up top. So all in all, this is a really good smoke to use to defend B with. So we're starting off this example where one of the NaVi players died towards B, so Flamey is actually solo, and the rotate's coming in from Simple from that arch side area. And what you're going to see is that Flamey, he's going to throw a smoke to kind of delay these terrorists. He's going to facilitate a rotation with this. And what you're going to see though is that Kerrigan, he's going to try to push through the smoke and try to take advantage of this timing. But Flamey, he decides to get right in front of the smoke. And this is another way to kind of defend B with these smokes. A lot of people, what they'll try to do is that, you know, sometimes they play towards quad or maybe second orange and try to fight the choke point that way, where it's essentially as they come out the smoke. But what Flamey's trying to do is she's trying to fight them directly right when they come out of the smoke, immediately after. And this is a great way to kind of derail the push, because as the terrorists are pushing through the smoke, they don't necessarily know where to be looking, right? Or rather, they're going to be focusing more on the player to be in the sight area, whereas Flamey, because he's kind of challenging him directly, then he's not quite expecting him to be right in his face. That's how Flamey gets his kill. And with the smoke, it allows Flamey and Simple to kind of set up in a new setup towards the site. And this is going to be an interesting one, because Simple, he's going to boost Flamey up on top of the quad box. And Simple, he's going to start moving towards the dark spot. So Flamey's boosted and Simple's in the dark spot. And now the interesting thing here is that by Flamey being boosted up towards the quad box area, he's not actually going to get hit by Molotovs unless he drops down. So the initial Molotov that goes here towards quad box, because he's boosted up, he's not going to get hit by it. As well, simple, he's going to be fighting the first, or he's going to be making first contact with this op here. And the B exec is going to be coming through from mousesports. So the full Molotovs are coming in. And what you're going to see is that simple, he's going to try to throw a smoke to extinguish part of the Molotov. And as well, it's going to act as a way for him to get towards that pillar here, or this pillar here, for him to use it as a bit of a one-way. So what you're going to see here is that Flamey, he's not getting hit by this Molotov as long as he's boosted up here. It's only when he drops down that he's going to die, because Molotovs kind of act more as a sphere rather than, you know, something that just hits you when you're on the ground. So because of that, he dies. But now simple, he's playing towards this angle right here where he's kind of one-waying with the smoke, and it's so difficult to deal with him. The other thing that I want to point out here is that Electronic, he's already here from the rotate, and he's not pushing in past the smoke until Simple fires a shot, right? He wants the terrorists to have their attention on Simple first before he peeks through the smoke. So what you're going to see here is that Simple, he's going to get that kill, and then Electronic going to push out from the smoke. It's all based on cues is how this works. So this next example is, you know, something simple that you can do if you have 3 players towards the site. And the reason why NaVi have 3 players towards the site in this round is because the weak guns are at B, right? The SMGs on Flamey and Boomich, but they also have Simple with the op, right? So if you have 3 players towards B, this is a setup that you can use where Simple, he's going to be spotting the first entrance. He's essentially trying to make first contact. Boomich, he has a smoke ready to deploy if they happen to make it past Simple's crosshair. And Flamey is going to be the one to flash if they happen to make it past Simple shot, the smoke, and past this choke point here. Flamey is going to flash to allow all 3 players to fight. That's how this setup works. So this next setup here, you know, similar, 1 player towards spool, another player first orange. And the idea of this setup here is that Frozen, he's going to be spotting the entrance as much as possible, and then Kerrigan, he's going to throw a nade as soon as contact is made, or as soon as he feels like somebody is close. So right here, Frozen, he's going to fire a shot. Kerrigan is going to toss a nade. Kerrigan overextends a little bit here, but the idea is still there that that nade does damage right when he makes contact. Now what I want to highlight here is that Frozen does a really good job of soloing B, because Chris J, his nearest rotator, is still towards CT. And what I kind of want to highlight is how he plays his quad spot. So right here, a lot of people, what they'll do when they're playing the quad spot is they'll actually peek this angle right here to kind of get an idea of when the terrorists first cross towards the entrance. However, what Frozen does is that he actually gives up that kind of information and decides that he's going to allow the terrorists to play in, or to come in more towards the site before he makes his move. Now, the reason why this is good is because if he had played this spot and made contact with the terrorist first, as soon as the terrorist spots that he's there, the terrorist is just gonna tunnel vision in on him, right? They're just gonna ignore all these other spots that he could be at. But because Frozen hasn't revealed himself yet, Electronic, while he's clearing the site, he still has to worry about first orange, second orange, dark spot, maybe even spool, and quad box finally, right? And because of that, Frozen's able to get an easy kill because Electronic's not even looking at him. Chris J finds a kill through the smoke, and now Frozen, he just needs to buy time, and he has a perfect way to do this. He throws the smoke in between quad box and the dark spot, and now it's just gonna be so difficult for NaVi to clear him out here, right? After Chris J dies towards the grill area, Frozen's gonna dunk a nade, gets perfecto as well, and overall just a really good way to play towards that quad area, right? Taking advantage of the fact that they don't quite know where he is, and as soon as he gets that kill, he pops the smoke, making it very difficult for him to be traded out. So this next example, same setup from the start, where Frozen's spotting in from the spool area, Kerrigan's playing first orange with the nade. But what I kind of want to highlight here is the usage of utility to kind of delay and push back the terrorists, right? So what you're going to see here is first, this is going to be a flash, Kerrigan's going to toss a nade and reply, right? And this is where you kind of let your utility do the talking rather than your weapons, right? Because right here, what you're going to see is that Frozen, he's going to see the smoke coming from this towards that spool area, and Frozen's going to reply with the smoke, right? He smokes the entrance, and now it makes it very difficult for the terrorists to want to push through this. Now they set up in a new way, where Kerrigan, he has a flash ready, and Frozen's going to be spotting. And basically, as soon as Frozen spots somebody, Kerrigan's going to be throwing the flash. Now, as this happens, what you're going to see is that they don't have any, they still have one smoke remaining on Kerrigan, but what they want to do is they actually want to swap places between Chris J and Frozen, because Chris J, he still has a smoke, right? So what Kerrigan's going to do is he's going to toss a smoke at the entrance to facilitate a rotate. So during this time, as he throws the smoke, he's deterring the terrorists from really wanting to go through the entrance. And that's exactly the goal of this smoke, is to facilitate this rotation so that Frozen and Chris J can swap spots. So now Frozen can go back towards Arch side and Chris J will now play B. And the great thing is that Chris J, like I mentioned before, he has that smoke. And just as that happens, the terrorists, they throw a smoke towards CT, and now Chris J, he can throw a smoke at the entrance once again. And this is effectively blocking off the terrorists if they decide to push in. So this is just an example where, you know, all you need to do is just use your utility to be able to ward away the terrorists, right? You don't necessarily have to use your weapons. You can use your grenades to push off the terrorists as well as to facilitate rotations. So this last example I have is a great way to kind of counter the spool smoke. So what you'll see here is that Frozen, he's going to get smoked off from the spool area, and Woxie's going to be playing towards CT, and I love this flash that he throws. This flash, it's going to bounce off the wall and land right towards this grill area, and this flash isn't going to get Frozen, but it's going to get the terrorists that are going to be pushing in. You see Frozen, as soon as that flash pops, Frozen's able to peek out, able to find at least one kill, and he plays on top of the spool over the smoke. Right, that's really the key part here. So that's just a small play that you can make, where if you see the exec coming through, have your player jump on top of the spool, have your player CT throw the flash that lands towards grill, get one kill, and then just fall back from here. And now they're in a spot to be able to play retake. 4v2 situation, they maintain construction control. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys liked what you saw, please drop a like and subscribe. If you guys have any ideas of what you want to see in the future, please let me know down in the comments below. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.